A professor sues his university for allegedly violating his free speech rights. Another claims that anti-plagiarism policies harm Black and Latinx students. And pregnancy centers near college campuses continue to be vandalized. I'm Courtney McLean.
And I'm Jennifer Nelly. And you're watching Campus Countdown from the Student Action Summit. For this week's number 3 story, crisis pregnancy centers near campuses are vandalized. Since the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization Supreme Court opinion was leaked, on May 2nd, many crisis pregnancy centers located within minutes of universities have been vandalized. Just 2.5 miles from the University of Akron, the Right to Life of Northeast Ohio has been the victim of 2 attacks. The first happened immediately following the overturning of Roe v. Wade on June 24th, and the second came on July 8th when a suspect was caught on surveillance video spray painting the sidewalk outside of the center. In Texas, a facility within walking distance of the University of Texas at Austin, the Trotter House, was vandalized after the Dobbs decision leaked. On May 3rd, abortion protesters tore down the organization's banner and littered the facility exterior with pro-choice messages, bragging on Twitter that the center had been redecorated. On June 11th, Hope Pregnancy Center, HPC, just over 3 miles from the University of Pennsylvania, was attacked by the radical group Philly Anti-Capitalist, with damages totaling an estimated $15,000. The executive director of Right to Life, Allie Fraser, told Fox News that as pro-lifers, we need to know that our work might cost us something, and that would very well could be our physical safety.
On to our number 2 story. Anti-plagiarism policies harm Black and Latinx students, professor argues. Antar A. Tikavakunda, an assistant professor at the University of Cincinnati, recently argued that exam surveillance, zero-tolerance policies, and fraternities and sororities harm Black and Latinx students. The assistant professor attributes the purported racial biases to white students' access to academic resources. On the issue of technology, he claims that proctoring software built to monitor students during remote exams perpetuates racial biases and stereotypes. Campus Reform spoke with Eric Smith, a professor at York College of Pennsylvania, about this argument. Smith said that assuming the general incompetence of minorities because they are minorities is a violation of academic integrity.
For our number 1 story, University retaliated for anti-woke syllabus language lawsuit claims. Stuart Regis, a computer science professor at the University of Washington, is suing his institution for allegedly retaliating against him after he published a controversial land acknowledgement in his syllabus. Many professors and universities use land acknowledgements in syllabi on websites or during ceremonies to state which Native American tribes used to occupy the land on which the school sits. On January 14th, Campus Reform reported on the land acknowledgement Regis put in his syllabus. It reads, "I acknowledge that by the labor theory of property, the Coast Salish people can claim historical ownership of almost none of the land currently occupied by the University of Washington." Following Regis's acknowledgement, the university apologized to his students, called him offensive, removed his land acknowledgement from his syllabus, and created an alternate course for students to switch to. Regis told Campus Reform that he believes that he has a strong First Amendment case in his suit. On July 14th, Jonathan Turley, a professor of law at George Washington University and constitutional law scholar, called this an attack on academic freedom and freedom of speech, and continued stating that the University of Washington faculty should condemn the school for its actions.
Now on to the woke tweet of the week. This tweet comes from Dr. Brandon Robinson, Chair of Gender and Sexuality Studies at the University of California, Riverside. This tweet states, "I work in racist, homophobic, trans, antagonistic, anti-science hell. They literally put the UCR police in the health, well-being, and safety division. Everything police are literally antithetical to. Get the cops off campus." This tweet shows support as part of the Cops Off Campus movement, which is in universities all across the country. In Los Angeles, a city only about 50 miles from Riverside, violent crime is up 6.7%, with over 10,000 reports recorded this year in Los Angeles alone as of May 7th. Violent crime, typically defined as reports of rape, sexual assault, robbery, assault, and murder, is rising across California and the United States. At the same time, this professor is calling for the removal of on-campus police.
That's it for this week's episode of Campus Countdown. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. To stay up to date on more leftist bias on campus, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Campus Reform. I'm Jennifer Nelly.
And I'm Courtney McLean.
Thanks for watching Campus Countdown.